Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing the Ultimatum Season 2, Episode 4. Just Episode 4. I need to keep reminding you guys not to spoil the season because I know how y'all love to do this. So let's only talk about Episode 4 in the comments, please and thank you. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. So the timelines here are going very quickly. In this episode, we go through 2 weeks, okay? So at the end of the first week, James and Raya are talking about sex, and I loved what James was saying about foreplay.
It's normally just like leading into foreplay.
I don't even know what that is.
Foreplay. It's like so many things. It can start at the beginning of the day. It can start out as like making your wife breakfast in bed.
Does a hug count? That's the least you could do for foreplay, right?
I mean, like, if that's what it leads into, then that's
Okay, it starts like I'll
a
start
weak
off like
attempt
give
at
you a
foreplay.
I need a lot more men to realize that foreplay is not just sexual. There are a lot of non-sexual things that can turn on your partner. Unload the dishwasher, throw out the garbage, fill up my gas tank, check on me during the day while I'm at work. Like, there are things that you can do that make a woman feel like, that's my man. And I promise you, it will aid to the sexual intimacy. It would make it all that, I was gonna say all that much more better. But yeah, because sometimes you be disoriented when you're in that moment. It will make it all that much more better. Oh, also, I wasn't sure if Raya was saying that foreplay lacks in her relationship, but she was like, oh, so the least part of foreplay would be like hugging. And then James was trying to say, like, no, it can be non-sexual things as well. Not that hugging is sexual, but, you know, non-physical things as well. So, yeah, maybe the foreplay is lacking in her relationship. Ryan and Trey are reflecting on how quickly this process is going. Honey, me too. I'm reflecting on too. This happened so fast. Week 1 is over. Okay. And it's Trey who is actually the more timid one, and now he's getting comfortable.
You told me I was not being awkward. You know what I mean?
I didn't say you were being awkward. I said I wanted you to be comfortable. I feel like in the first week, we basically like learned how each other kind of like lives day to day.
And what everything, yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't had any like fights yet. We have so much stuff in common. So, I mean, I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like to look for.
I had Ryan read completely wrong. I would have thought for sure, because she started that relationship so young and has been in it for all this time, it was going to be really hard for her to allow herself to be fully present in this process. But she has fully immersed herself. It is Trey who has been a little bit hesitant. And with the way that this episode ends, it kind of makes sense to me why he was being timid. I think that he was keeping himself from falling. But you kind of let your guard down after some days of constantly spending day in and day out with this person. So I like that he's giving the process a full try. James is aware that Raya is looking for more romance in her relationship, and so he kicks up the romantic gestures.
I think Raya lacked a little bit of romance in her previous relationship. And I want her to know, like, she's special.
I feel like you're a romantic person, yeah.
The right person.
I mean, I feel like you're knocking it out the park right now.
My mom, like, she's the hardest working person I know, and I want to carry that forward into my children.
When you get married, like, I mean, yes, you do have your mom, but you have your partner.
Sweetie, this was cute. This is, you know, the flower petals, the candle. I've noticed James loves a flower petal candle combo. He really does. And so I'm seeing something brewing between these two, just a little bit. And then I'm also looking at Raya like, baby girl, why are you wearing makeup in the pool? Why are you wearing makeup in the pool? It's probably because of how it will show up on camera, or maybe she was taken off guard, but I'm just like, girl, it looks even worse because now you're sweating and you can't even fully, like, you know. But anyways, that aside, I really love the initiative that James takes with Raya. She's going to want more initiative. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, James seems like a catch. So as quickly as week 1 ended, week 2 has now ended. All right. And at the end of week 2, we have Antonio and Kat still unpacking their insecurities. This is why they should have gone to couples therapy.
I don't feel like I've been very good ever in the history of all the relationships that I've ever been in showing that like I do have a romantic side. I've never been financially stable. And so like it is really hard for me to think about what it is that I want to do for fun. Most women want to feel like the person that they're with is always going to be able to take care of them. The person that they're with knows how to make them happy and comfortable.
When there's an imbalance in the relationship where like one person's like working really hard and the other person isn't, it's like, it's kind of tough on whoever isn't working.
You start to resent them.
Now listening to, I hate this for me. Listening to Antonio talk about his past, I'm now understanding why Roxanne would not want to jump into marriage with him. He says, I don't think I wrote it down, but I think he said 6 years, that for 6 years he was high. And that is how he would cope with things. He was very evasive. He's kind of like a couch potato, just play video games all day and whatever, and smoke and who knows whatever else he was doing, right? If you fall on hard times in your marriage, is that what you're going to default to? That is what I would be thinking. Excuse me. And it's not to say people can't reform themselves. I'm sure he's learned a lot. Even in him talking about it, it seems like that's not a life that he lived anymore. But there are a lot of stresses that come with marriage. And also with kids, if kids are what you want, right? If I had a fear, like, okay, well, I already am living a lifestyle that my partner does not match with. I already feel like he could be doing better in life. And I know that he has been in a place before that I wouldn't want to be partnered with. I would get the hesitation of wanting to be married. And maybe that's why Roxanne's perspective is more so, I don't believe that it's a time thing. I think that it's a person thing. And maybe she just genuinely does not think Antonio is the person. So anyways, Alex is successfully convincing Roxanne that marriage is not a death sentence.
I think it's strong to be married though. Like, I like to be strong, independent, ambitious for us. Don't you think in a really good relationship, the relationship gets better over time?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. It's opening my mind to these other thoughts. Okay, well, if I'm open to marriage, what kind of husband would I want? And I just feel like, I don't know, you have qualities that are very important to me in a husband.
Like I said, I'm more and more I am understanding Roxanne's perspective. Imagine being a woman who has hustled in life and you hit your wagon to a guy who seems to lack ambition and purpose and drive. You're pulling me down. Like, you are the anchor in this relationship, and not an anchor in terms of holding us down. You're holding us back. You are an anchor, but you're not holding us down. You're holding us back. Yeah, Roxanne, I feel you, girl. I don't know if Antonio's the one. Ryan is appreciating Trey's acts of service, and he appreciates the appreciation.
You going and getting my car cleaned was very nice, and I definitely appreciate it.
Really?
Yeah, no, that was sweet.
I'm trying. I just want to do something nice for you. You're a very good person in general.
I appreciate how selfless you are. I feel like you always put other people above yourself.
You feel like you would try to walk all over me?
No, I don't think I would. I feel like you're starting to like stand your ground more.
I knew it from the first episode that Trey's the kind of guy who's like, look at all these things that I have. Look at all that I've done for you. Why aren't you grateful? The good thing is that Ryan is very grateful and very complimentary and very appreciative. And he now feels like, okay, my efforts are not in vain. Clearly they mean something. Clearly they are valued by this person I am with. I think that Raya values what Trey does for her, but maybe doesn't express it in the way that he understands. So her thing is like, it's great that you got all that, but I want to have my own. And so he's thinking, so what I'm doing is not good enough. And if it's not good enough, then I'm not going to do it at all. That's why he's never done that whole romantic thing for her anymore. I love that he is seeing that maybe words of affirmation are his love language. And he just wants to feel affirmed in the things that he is doing. Like he might receive it. He might receive love through words of affirmation and then express loves through acts of service. Yeah, I can't be mad at him. Because how am I going to break my back trying to show you how much I care about you, trying to show you how much I love you? And you're kind of like, okay. I'm not even an acts of service person, but that would hurt my feelings. Roxanne meets Alex's family and, well, parents. And the parents shed light on the fact that just because you are in marriage does not mean your business has to suffer.
Don't think about marriage.
Well, I understand you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So we have been entrepreneurs too. And so being married is actually great. I can go home and go, honey, I have this problem. What do I do? He's our fixer.
Well, dang, I'll sit with you and talk about business all day. All day. Careful.
This is supposed to be about relationships right now.
Picking Alex, someone who challenges me, he has qualities that I really see myself being with. So Alex is the perfect fit for that.
You're saying you've never been with someone like that. And so I'm thinking about who's the guy you came here with thinking, he's not that guy.
Listen, this was such a great pairing. And it's so weird because Roxanne's own parents have been married for over 30 years. However, she just still struggles to want to emulate that. But watching Alex's parents, who are entrepreneurs, who are successful, and whose marriage is thriving, is really making it settle into her like, oh, this can work. And honestly, it should work. It's not to say that your partner should have the same business acumen that you have. But at the very least, they should not detract from your relationship. They should not siphon you of your energy. They should not be a liability to you. They should be somebody who you can learn from, somebody who elevates you a little bit, like an equal elevation. I make you better, you make me better. So yeah, watching these two basically, like the parents basically saying it works so well that we are in business together because he understands where I'm coming from a business level, but also an emotional level because we are life partners. Not to say every partnership should go into a business, but at least your partner should be some kind of safe haven for you so that when business is over, real life isn't daunting, you know? In a lot of cases, that's why people kill themselves at work because they don't want to face what's going on at home. Imagine being like so excited to be at work, but even more excited to be at home because your partner is just your person, your partner, your confidant, your everything, your support, your best friend. Like that's what Roxanne needed to see. And she saw that with Alex's parents. Now, why in my notes did I change James's name to Mark? I literally wrote Mark like 3 times. But anyways, Mark, also known as James, seems to be holding back with Raya. And Raya is like, I need more from you.
Yeah, I appreciate.
Was it the dinner or was it the...
Everything.
Everything?
So are you showing me love?
Yes. It's my way of showing you love.
So do you like holding hands?
Touching, holding hands, hand on the hip, stuff like that.
You know, you haven't held my hands in a while.
I think it's just a time and a place. And
we're at home.
All right. Okay.
So Mark is really good at the acts of service part of things, right? But physical touch is where he struggles. He says that even in previous relationships, he struggled with physical touch. He was a lot more affectionate with those people, but he also wasn't currently in a relationship while exploring another connection, you know? So I understand his hesitation. At first, I was like, I was just giving you props before about making it clear that foreplay and turning your partner on isn't just sexual or physical. You can do it in non-sexual ways. But now he is stuck there. And so he was trying to tell Raya, like, this is my way of showing you love. But she's like, I feel it differently. I need to see you touch my hand. I need to see you want to go for a hug. We need to cuddle in bed. Like, I want to have the full experience of marriage. I cannot blame her. That's what you came for. And it doesn't mean that you have to go to sex. It doesn't. But show me what a relationship with you could look like. Because if the relationship is going to be, you're never going to hold my hand, I don't want to be in this relationship. Like, I really don't. So, the conversation is getting a little bit intense. And they both share that they had left their relationships at one point, but James specifically has actually cheated on Ryan.
Do you like me?
Yeah, I think you're a pretty great person. As a friend, as a potential partner, like...
Just the little things, like holding hands and like giving each other hugs. Like, I feel like...
But like for me, like that's not the only level of intimacy I want to get out of a marriage.
Not saying like...
Do what?
Everything.
Like what? What's missing?
Everything else.
I don't have to fuck somebody to figure out what it would be like to live with them.
I'm not saying we're fucking.
This is the part of the conversation where I was like, okay, I feel like he doesn't want to. Well, two things. I feel like one, he doesn't want to disrespect Ryan, especially in this way, because he's done it before. But I think that he has to keep himself from being physical with Raya because he can see himself falling for her. When I look at these two, I feel some kind of synergy going on with them. As unlikely of a pairing as it is, I think that there really is some potential there. But the fact that he has already stepped out with somebody before, he doesn't want to do that again. And I think that him being with, what's her name now? Ryan for so long makes him think like, damn, I would be throwing away this long relationship. But if you find somebody who's better for you, like, isn't that okay? Like, isn't it okay? Isn't that the point? Like, you want to find your person. And if Raya is your person, honey, you might have to go for it. Also, James said that he basically feels like Raya is so detached to Trey, and that's why it's easy for her to want to engage with him sexually, physically, whatever. I agree. I think it is very clear that Raya emotionally is not fulfilled in that relationship. And so this is kind of like her lifeline to say like, okay, am I the issue or is it my partnership? And so she wants to fully experience James and maybe catch feelings for him to rule out like, okay, so I'm not the problem. It's clearly who I was with. The episode ends with Trey and Ryan talking about what potentially raising kids would look like.
I don't want them to be spoiled. I don't want them to be spoiled at all.
Yeah.
Spoiled a little bit. I mean, they're the part of me because growing up, I mean, I didn't have the nicest clothes and all of that.
I think you would be protective. I think you would be a protective dad. They don't need to be spoiled rotten.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to, like, give them what they need.
I have developed some feelings for you. I figured you could tell. This is the first time in my life where I'm doing this. I've never threw myself, and I'm not even gonna lie, I feel extremely uncomfortable right now even having this conversation with you.
I know they probably don't want to harp on racial issues, but I need them to talk about it at least once. I just want to know what it would look like for this guy coming from a presumably Black family. He might be adopted. I don't know. Might have been a foster kid. I don't know. And her, presumably, coming from a white family. Again, same caveats may apply to her. What that would look like coming together. And on top of that, they do have lifestyle differences. He gave up a lot of his lifestyle for the sake of Raya, but he's used to the fast life, the fancy cars, the nice, all that stuff. And it comes from him having an average childhood, like nothing fancy, nothing too flashy or anything like that. So he worked his way up. And I wonder, okay, when he has kids, would he also want to like show them the fruits of his labor? Is she like that as well? Or is she more of like, let's just live the simple life, you know, live out in the country. I know this is very stereotypical. Live out in the country, don't have a TV, raise some animals, be a Susie homemaker situation. Like, I don't know. I would just like for them to talk about that, but they don't really talk about it. What they do talk about is that Trey's catching feelings. Child. Yeah, and as much as Raya was feeling emotionally constipated, so was Trey. And so he is now being relieved through being able to open up with Ryan. I don't know how far this is going to go, guys. But in 2 weeks, this man is now really like falling for this next girl. And his girl is falling for a next man. It's going to be interesting. Anyways, as always, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.